Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's me to go first. I don't have a bingo, and I think bag might be a good play. It's a good idea to split up the G and the D, and the G isn't a particularly good tile. In general, if you don't have a bingo, it's a good idea to play a short word to provide a small number of floaters, and the leave of DEPS is reasonably synergetic, if that's the right adjective. And this looks interesting. I have sheepy as a 6-letter word. I note that bag takes an H after it, so I could play something like hyped at H10. I don't think I have a 7-letter bingo, and I can't think of any 8-letter bingos that would be available with the right floater. Although I will consider whatever my opponent offers if he does present some. I should be able to score reasonably well off this rack. B for 5. Right. Well, I can play hyped across here, and this keeps the board fairly tight. The most likely explanation of my opponent playing one tile is that he's very close to a bingo. 34 points is okay, and the ES leave is fine. I draw the X, which is good. I don't have a bingo, but I will hopefully be able to score well using the X. XU and EX are the two-letter plays. Well, my opponent scores 33 points. He's played off 5 tiles, so if he was close to a bingo, he's not necessarily close to a bingo now. So can I score using my X? It would be good to get rid of the U as well. So my choices would be XU or Mux, and I can play Mux immediately above bag. It keeps the duplicate E, but that's not too much of a problem. So Mux for 21, that's not a great score. Well, let's just see what I could score down here for Zoo. The M goes quite well with the P. Well, that's 22 points, and I think I prefer the leave. And my opponent can't score well using the X in this position. Well, that's not great. I've drawn the W and the R. The R is a fine tile, but the W does not complement the M and the P. I've now got too many high-scoring tiles. But I should be able to play through this fairly comfortably. I can't play parallel to gain because I don't have a tile that goes before or after the G. I definitely want to play off the W. Well, I could just play WAP. paw. Now that's only 16 points. So it'd be nice to do better than that. But I can't play above bag because I don't have a tile that goes in front of the G. And there are limited opportunities elsewhere. I could play mew and mun, but that only scores 15 points. Which is pretty much the same as paw, so I really need to think about whether the leave after mun is better than the leave after paw. So would I rather have this current leave of EEMRS, or would I rather have EPRS? Well, and I could play pew rather than, well, pew and mew. Pew rather than mew, rather. Well, this is tricky because I think that one of these moves is likely to be best. I don't think they're going to be similar. If I keep this current leave, I've got the E of Prince, and that really only gives me, well, that gives me 3 E's, which isn't particularly helpful. Whereas if I play down here, the floating vowel is the A, which goes much nicer with the EMRS, so I'm coming around to preferring pew down here. Now it's a case of whether I play mew or pew. I think I prefer the P. Well, as luck would have it, I'm glad that I played off the M because I've drawn the other M. I am short of vowels and I don't have a bingo through the A of gain, which in any event my opponent has taken. So I'm now faced with a rack with little scoring potential. I'm slightly ahead by 6 points, but that's not very much at all. I can't play onto the W of mew from the triple word square at 01. So what can I do? Well, I don't really like this because it's providing an easy opportunity for my opponent to score, but I have to sort my rack out. Menge for 16 points. My opponent has, well, he can score in row M and row O, and probably will do so without providing any openings for me. But I can't see anything better. Great, I draw the blank. And I've got the S plural of bag, so if I've got a bingo ending in S, I do have a spot to play it. I have the word saprobe, using the blank as an E, but that doesn't go. Good, my opponent has been attracted to the bottom left corner, so I've got the plural of bag. I can also play in row G above bag. I've got the A, which goes above the G of bag. And I've also got the floaters in Prince, the C and the E. So I ought to find something here. I'm just going to mentally run through the alphabet and see if anything jumps into my head. I'm up to O and nothing has jumped out at me. Gosh, how annoying. I thought there would be several here and I just cannot see anything other than saprobe, which doesn't go. So what shall I do? I've also got columns 8 and 9 for words ending in A and G. I would have probangs if I could place a letter after the G. I can place an H and an S after bag. How irksome. I guess it's the B and the P together which is inhibiting the availability of bingos. But even so, I think there probably is something here. Probably not through the E of Prince, but maybe through the C. It's not coming to me. I would have parboils through an I or an L. There are 53 tiles left and I'm just under 10 minutes, so I can't tarry too long on this move. But missing a bingo is one of the most expensive blunders in Scrabble. Now I note that bay takes an O in front of it, but saprobe still doesn't play. I really need an alternative 7-letter bingo to saprobe. It'd be probates through a T or an E. I think I'm going to have to stop looking. Is bar hops good? Bar hopping between bars. Gosh. Just doesn't feel good. Well, my opponent's lost contact or quit. We'll see if he returns. Bar hops. At least my clock has stopped. I'll just give him another 20 seconds or so to see if he returns, and then I'll pause. Okay, I think I will pause and return either when he returns or when the game is adjourned in my favour. Welcome back. My opponent has returned. I haven't thought of any other bingos, so I am going to play bar hops, and I don't feel good about it. I don't feel confident that it's good. So let's see if it's challenged off. If it's not, I have a reasonable rack. But I can't see a bingo. Latins, I think Latins might be good. With 2 T's. but I can't see anywhere to play it. There are a lot of floaters now in bar hops and the C and the E of Prince. Can't see anything through the C of Prince, and I don't think there's anything through the E. So really the most promising floaters. Great, bar hops has not been challenged. I hope it's good, we'll find out later. So has my opponent provided somewhere to play Latins? He hasn't, so I've got the H floater in bar hops, and I've got the A. I notice that I've now got 11 minutes of time compared to under 10 minutes I had before. I guess that must be some feature of what happens when a game is adjourned. I don't know why I appear to have gained an extra 2 minutes. Perhaps the clock starts from a similar position from the previous move played. Anyway, back to this rack. I feel there may be something through the A. But I'm not sure. So, what should I do? This is a nice looking rack. I can't play parallel to the right of bar hops because R only takes an E after it. And I'm only 40 points ahead. Now I could play Lat down here. And that's a great leave. Not a great score of 17, but I don't think a decent score was really available with this rack. And I have the J, which is good for score. I could play just in column 9 at C9. That would use the S. Right, okay, well that was me playing a 3-letter phony of AMO. So one more move to add to the roll call of shame. Now, do I have anything through the E? Not that I can see. My opponent is now only 4 points behind. Well, I can play lit up here, which is definitely good. And the leave is fine. The score is poor, but I don't think a good score is available on this rack. And that's not great. I would have on Datras through the R of bar hops, except that is obstructed by Waheen. Don't think I have anything through the C of Prince or the E. But I do have woad. Well, is there something better? Can I play in row D across from D8 all the way to D12? Well, there's ORAD, isn't there? That's 28 points. That's a good score, and the leave is fine. Station and Waheens. Great. Hopefully that will stay available. Do I have something else if it doesn't? I don't have anything through the Sea of Prince because that's Tactions and Occitant. Can't see anything beginning with the E of Prince. And I don't think Station plays anywhere else. So I'm going to have to hope that that spot is not blocked by my opponent. I do have the Ation, A-T-I-O-N suffix, but I don't need to look for words that use that because I can play Station. I certainly deserve to lose this game for playing a three-letter phony. It's quite terrible. But anyway, Scrabble is not a fair game, and I do have a high-scoring bingo. And I pick up the J again. And the Z. So I should be able to score with this. I've got Jizz at H14 down, which would place the Z on the triple letter square at J14. That would score well. And it would split up the duplicate I's, but it would leave me with 4 vowels. They would, however, be 4 different vowels. So what else do I have? Jizz is a high-scoring play, so it's going to be worth playing even though it leaves me with 4 vowels. But if it's blocked, it would be quite nice to play off one of the J and the Z, because that should enable me to score well, both this turn and next turn. If I keep just 4 vowels, it's possible that I won't be able to score well next turn. One advantage of Jizz is that it takes out the most promising bingo lane, and my opponent is 100 points behind. But we'll have to see if that stays open. I note that EL at N3 does take a Z in front, and Mo, well, I know it doesn't take an A in front, but it does take an E in front, but I don't have a 3-letter word ending EZ. Right, I'm going to pause immediately and resume. Okay, he's back. That didn't... he was away for momentarily, so just a few seconds. And it's my turn. My opponent's played rear for just 9 points. He has opened bingo lane in column 3. Rear takes an A and a C in front of it. Let's just see what this scores. Jizz, 50 points. I don't think I'm going to do better than that. And I'm fortunate, having kept 4 vowels, I draw 2 consonants. So that's a lot better than it could have been. Jizz has really done well in obstructing bingos or taking out bingo opportunities in the bottom right-hand section of the board, and my opponent's player Finn has not opened anything for my opponent, so given that I'm 130 points ahead, I'm looking to obstruct the bingo opportunities in column 3 and row E. I note that A-N takes an E in front of it and an R. Got just under 7 minutes left, but there are only 13 tiles in the bag. So I could play... Well, I'm looking at Yule. What's bad about this is the score and the rack leave, which is in general is most of what you're looking at. But what's good about this is that it significantly obstructs my opponent's bingo opportunities. So I like the play. But is there something better than it? I don't really want to stick the R in front of rule because it would only score 2 extra points. And it would leave me with an all-vowel leave. So although my leave is poor at the moment, it's not really terrible. Looking at the bag, there is only 1 R in there. There is only 1 I. So I think I will go with Yule. And that's quite a nice pickup. I don't have a 7-letter bingo. There are bingo lanes open in rows N and O, beginning with the C and the E of Prince. I may turn my attention to closing those down, or I may not, because I'm 140 points ahead. So 1 bingo is not going to be enough for my opponent. I don't have any scoring tiles on my rack. It would be nice to play off a whole bunch of tiles to expedite the end of the game and increase my chances of drawing the blank. Now, my opponent has opened up a bingo lane in column 2. So should I try and block it? I am 125 points ahead. There are 7 tiles in the bag and 5 on my opponent's rack. Gosh, this is tricky. Seven vowels. There are a lot of vowels out there. Gosh, there are very few opportunities presenting themselves to me. I think I'm looking to avoid the duplicate I. I think that's the real problem, because I can easily play something like Tau. Oh, that's horrible. That opens up a bingo lane in row B. Gosh. I'm really struggling to think of anything sensible to do with this rack. I think I can see something nice. Look at this. Terrai. 20 points. Kills the bingo lanes. Resolves the duplicate I. And I draw the blank. Now, do I have anything? There are only 3 tiles in the bag. I'm 140 points ahead. So I think the game is probably won. It'd be nice to go out on a high with a bingo. But these are very, if there is a bingo here, it's very low probability, so it may be that there is one, but I simply haven't learnt it. I've got 3 minutes left, and there are 3 tiles in the bag, so I'm not in any time trouble. It's quite a tight board, even without a bingo. It's a struggle to see where to play. Okay, my opponent has provided no floaters. Oh, but he has provided a very nice opportunity, or a very good scoring opportunity. Folk for 45 points, that's fine. There are going to be loads of places where I can go out. Can my opponent go out? Probably not. Well, I can't see where he can go out. I could play IOs at H1 for 11 points. What's better than that? I'm looking around to see whether high scoring tiles have been played, to see if I can use the blank as an S to pluralise a word, but I can't pluralise cat or zai or jizz or zoo. Where's the J gone? Oh, well, that's in jizz, so I can't pluralise any of the words formed by the 4 highest scoring tiles. I think I'm so far ahead. Ah, it is my turn. Q's for 24 by my opponent. Okay, so can I do better than about 10 points? Yes, I can. I can play ISO down here. And it may not be best, but I'm playing it. And that was 17 points. So I'll just wait for the game to formally end. Which my opponent does not seem to be in a hurry to do, but it has ended now. And I win by 456 points to 286 points, so quite a comfortable win in the end. But I know there were errors in that game, so let's have a look at what I missed. It was me to go first. Well, a whole bunch of 5-letter plays, but I think they are as good or less good than the 3-letter play I made. Hyped, that was my play. And I could have played Mux's burning the S at D10. Yeah, pluralising bag and putting the X on the triple letter square at F10. Well, that may have been better than my play. But I think it's actually likely to be quite close. Wampy, that's a nice word. J4, yep, through the A of gain. Gems at M1, pluralising cat. Well, I don't think that was better than my play. And bar hops was the only bingo. Well, I'm delighted to have found that. That is quite an obscure bingo. Right, this was my my moment of shame, so we'll pass on. No bingos there, that's good. And no bingos here either, and Orad is one of the highest scoring plays. Was there anything other than station? No, there wasn't, okay. Jizz was the highest scoring play. Yeah, all low scoring plays at this point, so difficult to distinguish between them. Terai is the top of the suggestions. Was there a bingo here? There wasn't. Well, it's suggesting at H1 Fisk, I see. That's pluralising Terai for 5 more points than Folk. And finally, ISO was the highest scoring play. Okay, well, that was an interesting game. There was just a dreadful moment. I mean, there's no point in hiding away from it. I played a 3-letter phony, and that's pretty shocking, but you know, one has to move on, and I have. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.